Hello, hello! Welcome to another week of Speak Up with PT and Friends. I'm PT. Welcome.
Hey!
Hey,
What's
T, what's
up?
up? How are you
I'm
doing, my
good.
friend?
How are you doing?
Doing okay. So, I'm gonna be straight with you,
Okay.
PT. My wife just ordered some Jersey
Ooh,
Mike's. You like
yes.
Jersey Mike's? Okay. The food got here at like
Mm,
7:20. So I had the decision to wait to eat that food after this, which would have sucked because I'm
mm-hmm.
hungry already, or try to
You
scarf it
definitely
down.
scarfed it down.
And I definitely scarfed it down. And you ever eat something and it's just so good, but then you like take a few bites and it feels like there's this pain in your chest, like as it's going down in the
Yes.
stomach. Excuse me, I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I kind of felt that way. I was just rushing it too much and it hurt. So
Well, we're in the same
semi-satisfying.
boat because I had
Yeah, what'd you
Chick-fil-A,
eat?
but it was easier for me because it was a salad. I got one of the Cobb salads. So I was just like shoving
Oh,
leaves
nice.
in my mouth, trying to hurry up.
It
Yeah,
goes down a
just a
little bit
little
easier
bit,
than
but
bread. Oh my goodness. Tiera, my backyard is
why?
horrible. Here, let me show you. Because I haven't mowed it in like, I don't know, weeks. And it looks like
Mm.
the Amazon rainforest, and there's an anthill that I have to kill, and there's one over here too that I have to
Oh,
kill.
nice.
And
Jordan can mow it for you.
see,
Yeah.
oh yeah? All right, Jordan, let's do it, man.
He's gonna love me for that.
See, the thing about mowing lawns is I hate doing things that are repetitive and cost me money. And
Mm.
it's both. So I don't like doing it. And plus, my dad made me mow the lawn when I was growing up, and just got super repetitive. I just didn't like it. And it's Texas,
Yeah.
it's hot.
I don't think I've ever met somebody that liked to mow the lawn.
You met my dad.
Okay, well, yes. It's a dad thing, I guess. Because Jordan's dad and my
It's not
dad.
this dad's thing.
Yeah, okay, it's a dad's thing. Not you though.
Not me, though. I'm the exception to the rule, I guess. So, Tiara, I have some fun questions I would like
Okay.
to ask you. And they are the good old fashioned youth would you
Oh
rather
gosh.
kind of
Yay!
questions.
I like these.
You okay
Okay,
with
I'm
those?
ready. Gotta
Okay.
crisscross applesauce first.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to make sure I'm trying to pick the right ones for you because I feel like there are good
Okay.
ones for you that you would really. Oh, that's horrible. I'm not doing that one. Okay. Okay. I saw one earlier. Would you rather only be able to watch movies or
Oh,
TV for the rest
movies,
of your
for
life?
sure. Yes. I don't even
Movies.
watch
Yeah?
TV like now, so
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Like you don't stream or do
Um,
anything like that?
I think the only reason I'd ever watch TV is to watch like basketball or football. Like that's the only
Oh,
reason
okay.
I think we have cable is to watch that, to watch sports. Yes, pretty much.
Sports.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I think ugh, that's a hard one because you got to think about. I mean, I guess there's plenty of movies out there. It's not like you're gonna run out of
Yeah.
movies, but you would miss out on things like The Office and
I
Parks and
barely
Rec.
watched The Office.
Well, Tiara, then we got some other issues
I
to
watched
talk
like two
about.
seasons, I think.
Um,
Not even.
well, you need to
I'm
complete
trying.
it. Okay, speaking of movies, Jordan mentioned this. Did you go see
Yes.
Tenet as
Oh
well?
my.
What'd you think?
Tenet made me feel so stupid. I felt like the more
Same
I
here.
watched it, the more my IQ just kept dropping and dropping. I was like, what is this?
So, I told Jordan the other day, oh my gosh, mosquitoes got me
Mm,
good. Oh, these things are killing my feet. Okay, I'm gonna have to change location because they are all after me. I was telling Jordan, I watched it twice this weekend, and I finally, it was the only movie I've really ever had to like dive into like Reddit and like look at all the whys
yeah,
and the hows. And I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet because I think you should go see it. But my goodness, that movie just,
I was
I
so
felt the same
mad.
way. I felt like it might just dumb or is this just really, really complex? And
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, and even
All right.
when they were
All right.
talking,
I'm
like
doing
when
it.
the actors were like talking about what was going on, I was so confused. I said, what are all of
Yeah.
these like scientific phrases and stuff? I
Uh-huh.
was like, man, I guess I'm really dumb because I don't know anything that's going on. The only part I think I really knew was the
Yeah,
end. So.
right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ending too. That was like, oh, my heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to go deep dive into like research all the different scientific things, and oh yeah, it was good though. I liked it. I told Jessica I'm gonna take my time to go watch it again, but it was definitely something that I liked. Did I say Tiera? I
No,
meant
you
to say
said
Jessica. I think.
Jessica.
Did I say Jessica? Okay, good. Sorry, my brain gets crazy sometimes. All right, another question. Would you rather question? There was 5 on
They're
my
all
feet. That's why
coming
I went
right
inside. I
now.
was
I
like,
think
I'm
I'm gonna
not
have to
doing
go
that.
into. I think I'm allergic to
Yeah, it's
mosquitoes.
ridiculous.
I don't know if how that works,
cool.
but like you know how you get like the mosquito bite, and usually after a couple days it goes away. Well, mine gets bigger after a couple of days, and it's just, and then like I have to like put ointment on it, and then it'll go away. So I don't know. Maybe I'm allergic. Who knows? I'm alive though.
All right, let's do another. Would you rather? Man, I saw a good one. I need to find it. Make sure I don't. You know, I asked this to Harley last week. I'm going to ask you too. Would you rather get away with lying every time, or always know that someone is lying?
Always know that someone is lying.
It's tempting. I mean, this is kind of assuming, like, hey, it's like, hey, if I were not a Christian, if I were not a good person, you know, maybe.
That's Jordan. He's knocking on
what's
the
up, Jordan?
Come here. Oh my Lord.
You can join in.
Yeah, I would definitely want to know when people are lying because I think I do that now. I'm like, are you lying? Are you not lying? And like, I just think about all the things that I've like wondered about, like, oh my God, I don't know if they just like were telling the truth or if they actually just lied to me and I fell for it. So that'd be really cool, actually.
It would be. You could change a lot of. There'd be a lot of relationships that are either going to be really good or really bad as a result of that. All right, next one, Jordan.
Oh, I have AirPods.
Yeah, my man.
Hello.
There you go.
What's up,
dude? What's up, man?
Good.
How you doing, brother?
Come sit. Come sit.
Doing good, man. Come join us. You are more than welcome to.
One chair. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Oh well. Oh, there you go. Jordan, it's funny enough, dude. I was actually going to ask you for joining next week. So this is a win-win.
I know. Look at that. Dynamic duo.
What's your next question?
All right. One last question for you. And I guess you can answer too, Jordan. Would you rather always have to speak your mind?
Okay, say it again. We're there.
Okay. Would you rather only ever have to speak your mind, like if something pops in your head, you have to say it?
You already do that.
Or never speak again?
Speak my mind.
You already do that.
Because I already do that.
Yeah.
It gets me in a lot of trouble, but, you know, it's... Yeah, for sure.
I'd go with the same answer.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Really? No, I got too much. I got too much stuff to say.
Yeah.
I gotta keep it down.
I don't know.
I'd rather just start typing to people.
Yeah.
Start writing it down.
So, I mean, I gotta think, like, because I work at HEB, and every customer, I always got something rude to say, because sometimes they just irk my nerves. So if I had to speak my mind, sorry if you're watching. Fun.
Yeah.
I would get fired. But it's okay.
When I worked at the movie theater, there was customer service. Like definitely working in that job, I learned to respect people who work in customer service and who did any kind of sales or anything like that. And man, it's just people are just
They are.
jerks
all the
sometimes.
time.
Is that like, I'm not going to say people are bad, but
Yeah.
people are
They're pretty
definitely
bad.
jerks
It's a
sometimes.
big but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never, until I
Yeah.
started working in like retail and stuff, I never understood how big of a deal like sales
Yeah.
were and coupons. Like
Yeah.
Mm,
people will
yeah.
flip out on you over $1 off of their purchase. And I'm like, it's $1. Like, come on.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember they would like get upset at us because like, well, one, of course, everything at the movie theater is always overpriced. That's well, of course we would always hear that, but they would get mad at us because to upsell a certain beverage is like only a quarter, and so they would complain, why is it only a quarter? It's not really that big, or just
yeah.
different things like that, or they always try to get something free in New
Always.
Jersey,
It's ridiculous, actually.
It is.
I feel you.
Well, you know what? This is actually a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk to you about, Tiera and Jordan, now that you're here with us. And that is the topic of anxiety. Because I think your job, especially, and I think you can receive a lot of anxiety, but I'm pretty sure you also witness a lot
Yeah.
of anxiety, and especially with everything going on. And I kind of wanted to talk about it. Of course, we are a youth ministry, so I wanted to kind of parallel it to youth ministry, but I really wanted to dive into kind of out of the obvious about with COVID and with everything that's going on around the world. What are some of the biggest key factors of anxiety that you feel like are affecting teenagers
The
today?
biggest factors? Like, what do you mean? Like, what
Yes.
causes, or biggest causes, I guess?
Can we go inside?
Yeah.
Yes, we
I
can go
got bit
inside.
like 3 times since I've been out here.
Okay, we're going inside.
Dude, bro,
I've
it
been
was
out
the
here for
worst.
like
I got
3
bit 5
minutes.
times on the foot.
Scrunchie and glasses. You said 3 or 5?
How many? However
Just
many.
the biggest factors. We're going to sit.
Yeah, what do you think are like really, because I mean, obviously we know that just with the pandemic and even with social justice, there is a larger amount of stress and anxiety that's been happening around us. When we were all quarantined, that did not help in a lot of cases, because if you didn't know how to healthily dissect and to go through your emotions, it kind of spiraled out of
Right.
control. So those are kind of obvious, I think, to us, and I think we've kind of talked about it a lot. But so I kind of want to ask you, just in regular school life, with high school, with young adults, what are some of the biggest anxiety pressures on us?
Failure, I think, is a really big one. And failure, I mean, there's so many I don't really think failure exists, but it's just the fact of like people have these expectations for you, and then you don't meet them because it's either what you like, something you don't want to do, or something it's just not like your niche. And so especially like in high school, like when you're about to graduate and you're in all these extracurriculars, like people expect, like everybody when I was in high school expected me to go off to college and dance and like continue that and become a professional dancer. And so it was a lot of pressure to be able to like succeed in that and do well. And then after a while I realized I don't even know if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, And so I think that causes a lot of anxiety for young people. That's one of the biggest ones, honestly. And then maybe another one, I would say, like, friends. Like, I think friends in high school can give you a lot of anxiety, because one of the biggest fears of young people is being lonely, like they want to be included. They want to be liked. And so friends, especially if they're not like real friends, can cause a lot of pressures and can create anxieties on young people that aren't really necessary, but sadly happen often.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember, I think we talked about this a little bit the other week, but it was just like, I remember in high school, I would try to so hard hold on to whatever friends I could get a hold of. And so that resulted in me like embellishing myself into drama that I didn't need to, and to try to talk trash or, defend people that didn't need that. And it felt like I just remember basically just what you just said. There's just so much stress and so much um, weight that can be pulled on a young person because they feel like if I don't hold on to this friendship, then my life
Yeah.
is going to be worse. And what I think it's hard to get out of the cycle of is learning to get out of the cycle of bad friends and learning to have good, healthy friends. And of course, we're all imperfect. We're going to have mistakes and things, but a lot of it comes down to, are you choosing friends that are helping
Yeah,
you and growing you and not just doing the same thing over and over. So,
that's good.
well, speaking of speaking of what we did a few weeks ago, we had the little Q&A with you two and
That
Harley,
was fun.
and I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. We're definitely going to do that again sometime. Um, but there was one thing that I was bragging on you about last week, Tiera, on Speak Up, and that was a comment that you made about it was a comment that you made about joy. And I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to anxiety, a lot of people are told, well, hey, just get over it, just be happy. And that's kind of the I think the thing that's maybe not always said out loud, but it's kind of implied, like, hey, just get over it. But you said something very remarkable that really stood out to me, and that was that joy is a choice, and it's about choosing joy. And it doesn't mean that you're always going to feel enlightened or whatever you want to consider that word, but you're choosing a certain way of living. So I was wondering if you can kind of talk about choosing joy in the midst of anxiety and what that might
Oof,
look like.
That's a good question.
that's a really good question. That's tough. Honestly, I feel like I've been through that. Like, strangely. I mean, I never really talked about, like, I guess my hardships of high school or whatever, but
Hmm.
you know, I hate to say it like this, but like high school, it's kind of like inevitable nowadays to have some type of anxiety, a lingering anxiety that goes on
Mm,
just through all each grade, And so
yeah,
it was just it's just one of those things, like it's not going to always feel good, you know? And that's one of the
yeah,
hardest I think that's one of the hardest concepts for young people, even adults, to understand, is that, like, you're not always going to feel good. It's not a feeling.
yeah,
It's a mindset. And so you
yeah.
kind of just, it's like you're training your mind on a day-to-day basis, just like you would with any other thing. You, like, anything that you want to be really good at,
Mm,
or I guess be really strong at, because I guess that's a good way to explain it.
yeah,
It takes, like, practice. And so choosing joy,
yeah.
I would say the same thing. It's practice. You can't, like, every
Mm,
once in a while, I guess, feed off of that temporary happiness, because it's not, in the end, that's not going
mhm,
to train you up to when you have harder
yeah,
situations, when you're out of school, and you're in your life, and
mm,
with relationships. You're not going to be able
for sure.
to, I guess, rely, or I guess, like, jump back and say, oh, I practiced this when I was younger. Oh, I did this. I
Yeah,
remember this.
yeah,
Like, it's not going to be as easy to flip on that switch. And it can get a lot worse when you get
mm,
older. Because, I mean, in school,
yeah,
it's a little easy because you have mentors and your counselors and your teachers. There's a lot of people, believe it or not, there's a lot of people that care about you guys in high school and middle school.
yeah,
But when you're on your own and you're an adult, it's not always like that. You're seriously kind of on your own
right.
until you find your people in your circle. And so,
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
I don't know, it's just practice, 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 training,
Mm,
and don't rely on the feeling, but just trust in your gut that it'll help you. You're helping
yeah,
yourself. You are, I guess, building yourself for the better. I was reading, okay,
yeah,
sorry,
absolutely.
I don't mean to talk too much on this. I was reading
No, no,
a
please.
book today. Do you know the book? What is it called? I just told you about it. To Hell with the Hustle by To Hell with the
No,
Hustle by Jefferson Beth. He's a pastor.
I, I
Yeah.
know who that is.
Oh my
I haven't
gosh,
read
I
it
just
yet.
started reading it today. And one of the things he talks
Mm,
about, him and his wife, they every, like, at the end of every year, they do this thing where they kind of sit down, and the purpose of it is to talk about,
oh
like,
yeah.
reflect basically on the year. But they don't they
Right.
set these goals, but they don't call them goals. Like, it's specifically like a rule to not make goals. Instead, they call it
Huh.
formations, because a
Huh.
formation, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but the definition of a formation is slightly different from goals. And it's like dang, I wish I could remember. Something about how what you're doing currently is slowly forming you into your bigger formation at the end. So it's not like a
Yeah,
goal where
yeah.
you set it and then once you complete it, it's over with. It's more like you're doing it every single day. You're training it to be a part of your formation. And I don't
Right.
know if I explained that right. You might
Yeah.
have to go read it in check.
No,
But
it makes sense. It's like choosing to make habits instead of
yes.
goals, and choosing to make healthy lifestyles instead of like, okay, can I reach the certain weight
Yeah.
point by the end of the year? It's more than that. It's about how can I create a good, healthy
Mm-hmm. And
lifestyle.
so, like, when I read that, I mean, that kind of
That's
just
good.
applies to the whole joy thing. Like, it's you're making it a habit. It's not a temporary thing. It's not
Mm,
a goal where it's going to go away, or happiness where it's going to be
yeah.
a temporary feeling. It's more of it's a
Right.
habit of a mindset, is what I would say. And so,
Mm, that's good. It's really got to become a part of you, and I think you kind of brushed on that earlier. It has to be something that's kind of like this second nature part of you, to where it's okay to. And I think one of the problems is that there's a stigma against feeling
mm-hmm.
sad and feeling hurt, and that people, especially I think Christians, feel like you can't
Yeah.
feel sad ever, and I think that's complete opposite. I think Jesus showed us that he even wept, and he felt compassion and hurt for other people. And so it's okay to have moments and to even have little seasons where we are sad for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And to, but the difference is that you're not just sticking with that, but you're using that as fuel to
Yeah.
produce change,
Yeah.
to produce growth. And I'm going to be really nerdy here for a second, but I think the best way I can parallel it is kind of like in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. There's a Luke is referencing the Force, and Rey is like, "Oh no, the light side is all where it's supposed to be," and she's going big into that. And he goes, "No, it's about a balance. It's about how there's life and there's death, and there's these waves of time, and you have to respect both
Mm-hmm.
times." And so I think of it the same way, is that God created these emotions for us to experience, and if we don't experiencing them, then we are missing out on what all God has created
Yeah.
us to experience. And so I think the hard thing to figure out, especially in high school and middle school, is how do you balance
Mm-hmm.
that out? How do you choose to have moments of sadness, but also of joy and enthusiasm, but also of contemplation? And there's a lot of
Right.
different things like that.
That's
And
really
so
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah.
That was good, Tier.
Thanks.
Um, okay, so there was a article I read the other day, and again, this is all coming back to anxiety, and it was discussing, because we talked about the other day in our chat, in our conversation, about the difference between joy and happiness, and how happiness is short term usually, and joy is this, like you kind of said, kind of like this lifestyle. It's this choosing to look for the positivity. It's looking for the goodness. And but this article I read about was talking about the difference between optimism and hope. And I was curious about what you might think about that, about the difference between choosing to be optimistic in a circumstance and choosing to be hopeful
Mm.
in a circumstance. Because I think the author, and I'm sorry, I don't have all the details with me, but they were basically discussing how optimism is usually dependent on the circumstance and hope isn't. And so I was wondering what you might think about that. What, if you're talking to a high schooler and you say, hey, don't just be optimistic, but be hopeful, how would you explain that to them?
Mm. Okay. So that does make sense, though. Optimism is more based on circumstance and hope isn't. Because I feel like people
Hmm.
use the phrase hopeful, or like talk about being hopeful more when it feels like there's no good side, like there's going to be no, I guess, positive side.
Yeah,
So hopeful, I would say, is what
right.
people go for more often when it feel like when they don't see like the light at the end of the tunnel. Optimism, I think, is more
Yeah,
where it's like
right.
yeah, this sucks, but there's also a good side I can see out of it, so I'm going to go with the good side, you know? And so
Yeah, absolutely.
if I had to kind of put them against each other, I would say hopeful is more stronger of a, I guess, feeling or a choice or whatever. Just because that's where
Yeah.
you like truly find like how strong your faith
Well, it
in God
reminded me of like
is,
this.
I think. Is because like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, hopeful and faith,
Yeah.
I would say, kind of
Well,
correlate together, and optimism is just kind of, I don't know how to explain.
yeah, no, you're right. Well, I mean, that's even scriptural, is that it's put your hope in the Lord. And, I think, sorry, my kid's baby monitor is on and it's really loud. Let me turn that down. One of the things that I think about when it comes to hope and with hope in God is that hope and even faith, you just tied it together. It's about having it's more than a feeling, but it's about believing in something that's
Mm-hmm.
unseen. And it's about putting your trust, there's the word, putting your trust in something that
Yeah.
you can't see yet or feel yet. So maybe kind of dive into that if you don't mind, Tiera. How would you encourage someone right now who is in high school or even a young adult to say, hey, um, you should be hopeful even when you don't feel like it? Because it's kind of like revolving back, you're choosing joy. How do you choose hope amidst anxiety?
Um, well, in order to be hopeful in the midst of anxiety, you need to make sure that you first have trust in God. You know, you need to build, that comes
Yeah,
with building a relationship with God. You have to build your trust in Him, because if you don't trust Him, how are you going to be hopeful
yeah,
in the unseen? You know, how are you going to be hopeful in things that feel like they're
right,
never going to get better? You know, and so it all starts with
yeah,
building that trust and kind of understanding, again, building the mindset, you know, that there's not always a negative ending to things, you know? And so,
right,
yes, anxiety will come, but it'll also pass, you know? And
yeah, right,
once it passes, it all depends on, I guess, your choice of continuing to stay in that sadness, or, you know, flip a
mm,
switch and start to choose joy, start to be hopeful, because joy is around the
yeah,
corner, you know? It's like, okay, well, I know I'm going through this
yeah,
hard
yeah, that's
season,
good.
but I'm hopeful that when it ends, I will choose joy. I'm hopeful that when it ends, I will
Right.
turn things around, you know? And so,
Mm,
I
yeah,
mean, but
absolutely.
if you don't trust God, that's really hard to do, because, you know,
Sure.
that's doubting, you know? And so, and you're always going to have those doubts in the back of your mind while you're trying to, you know, change your
Mm,
life, change your mindset. Like, oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, He can't do that for you. Oh, that's not scripture or
right.
whatever, you know? And so, and trust
Yeah.
comes with, you know, reading and
Mm,
educating yourself and praying. So,
it's good. Wow.
thanks.
Very good. All right. One last thing, and this actually revolves again, I think something that you said. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there we were talking about how to. I'm trying to remember the exact context, but we were talking about choosing to make the right choices and choosing to follow God, and we had revolved around the topic of stillness and choosing to take moments to
Mm.
pause. And so I wanted to hear your thoughts a little bit more about in the midst of anxiety and how to deal with stress. What are some good, proper ways to be still and to take moments of peace in your life and to really reflect and to meditate on God?
Mm. Alone time. And it's kind of
Mm,
contradicting in a way, because, you know, anxiety, nobody ever wants to be alone when they're feeling anxiety. You know, they want somebody to lean on, they
mm,
want somebody to kind of take them out of that, you know, pick them up out of it. But
yeah,
when you're kind of forcing yourself to sit in that time of loneliness, I guess it's not really loneliness, because God is
yeah,
with you. That's the other part you have to remember. But it's like when you take the time to kind of just do it before, face your fear in a way, and just be alone and
yeah,
understand that being alone is probably what's going to help you um, get out, you know? It's just one of those things where you sit in the stillness. You can't sit in stillness with all of this going around you. And it's really hard to sit in the stillness with people, because people get distracted really easily. And so it's one of those things you kind of just got to face your fear of loneliness, or face what you don't like doing, which is usually being alone, and be alone. And those are the times where you will hear the most, where you can think more clearly, where you can just kind of let God speak to you. And that's something I had to learn, is like being alone is a good thing, because I mean, I'm still, my personality obviously is way out there. I like people. I like being around people all the time. But in high school, it was a lot worse. I kind of I think I talked about this in the video. Like, I depended on making people happy to make me happy. And so when I was alone, I was like, oh my gosh, what is my purpose? Like, what am I doing? And so me, as I grew older, forcing myself to kind of just be alone, say no to going out, just sit in quiet and not have to like do anything for other people. That's where I really kind of learned like that there's so much more that I was missing out on, And so
that's good. Jordan, you got anything to say about that? Got it. All right. Well, I think that is a good place to end this little conversation, because I think we kind of it is. I mean, you kind of just, it's hard for me to find another question now, because you kind of just narrowed it down, and you did really well with that. So thanks. But no, that's all good. I think you really hit it on the head. I think a lot of this, a lot of maturing has to do with creating balance in your life, I think. And I think that's kind of what we circled around a lot, is choosing joy and choosing to find hope, but also to find time alone, as well as find time with people and relationships. But anxiety, it's a this month is suicide awareness, and it's choosing to be aware of these dangers and being aware of what it means to do life alone. And I think when it comes to anxiety, we allow it to overstimulate ourselves with stress and anxiety. And if we don't take the time to, like you said, find moments of stillness and to pause and to choose joy and to choose people who will help bring you to joy, then it will just keep going down this really dark circle. And so, thank you, friends. I appreciate your insight. I appreciate your wisdom, and you guys are really cool people, and I think really highly of you guys.
Thanks. I try. This.
With that being said, would you? Oh,
I was
please,
just gonna say, this is a subject I think I really enjoy speaking on, just because when I was younger, I took a lot of time to learn about it, because a lot of my friends went through stuff like that. Not really me necessarily, but like depression and anxiety and things like rock bottom, basically. And so I took a lot of time experiencing it through my friends, and also learning about it more, so I could learn how to help people around me. And so it's something I enjoy speaking about, because it's good that people learn about it, even if you've never been through it. Educating yourself will help other people. So
absolutely. Well, even if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, but I remember learning early, I think after high school, that it's usually the people who are really not all the time, but there was actually a trend that people who are more exuberant, more outgoing, are usually the people who are better at hiding their depression than people who are just more solemn, more chill, because it's almost like I don't want to say a cry for help, but it's kind of like this. Let me see if I can mask this feeling. Let me see if I can help. And like in your case, I think is how can I help people, and how can I do things for others, so that way maybe I don't feel this way or something like that. And so I remember even with me, I've definitely mellowed out a little bit over the years, but I remember being in high school, I think it really got the best of me, depression, because I thought I had to be happy and I had to be joyful. And when I wasn't feeling that, it made it worse. I was like, why am I not feeling happy? I must be failing at something. And really just, man. not fun.
Jeez.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, let's end this with a little bit more fun, and then we can conclude this night. And Jordan, before we move on, I wanted to correct something I said to you earlier today, and it was regarding season 2 of The Mandalorian. So for all you people out there who love Star Wars like Jordan and I do, Tiera, I don't know.
Getting there.
We're praying for her, I think. Yeah, we're getting there. New trailer dropped today, and I'm super excited. There is a female in there. I learned it is not Ahsoka. It is not her. It's some other character that I don't even know who it is, but it's a different actress, so I know it's not Ahsoka. So
now you know.
October 30th, we'll find out.
It's gonna be such a good day.
He
It's gonna be such a great day.
literally texted me when the trailer came out, and he was like, "We have to have a marathon. Get the group together." And I was like, oh,
yes,
watch party.
Here we go.
Jordan,
100.
Yes, absolutely. It's happening at the Lichty household. It's gonna, Jessica and I we're figuring out what days the best to do this. It's gonna happen.
Got to.
It's gonna happen. Okay. All right. Fun. Would you rather questions? Jordan, you are involved with this. Okay. Would you rather read minds or accurately predict the future?
That's a tough one.
Accurately predict the future, like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I love Doctor Strange.
Is he your go-to?
0.2 chance of.
I know you have a 1.
Yeah.
I know 1 out of 14 million something chance of doing this.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. I feel like if I was able to read people's minds, I would be kind of irritated. Because I mean, people speak in their minds what they don't want to say, you know, and so I would just get my feelings hurt all the time.
It's like, your shoes look really good.
Oh.
I know. Your hair looks nice.
Just tell her that to make her happy.
Babe, what do you think about my outfit? It looks good.
No, it don't.
I don't know. That's hard.
That would backfire so horribly
for me too. Yeah.
Future. I don't know. I think I would only say minds because I like unpredictability and I like being surprised, and so I don't want to know. Well, I guess it depends if I don't have to know all of the future. If I can choose certain things, I guess I could be okay with that. Pick and choose. Yeah. I could be okay with that, I guess.
I would definitely be a superhero if I could read minds, like for real. I don't know. I'd figure it out, but
yeah.
Doctor Strange Jr. I know. I said Doctor Strange Jr.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Would you rather only eat pizza for 1 year or eat no pizza for 1 year?
No pizza, I can survive.
Are you serious? You always want pizza.
But I can survive without it.
Think about it this way. Is it doesn't have to be the same type of pizza.
No pizza.
I think I can survive.
Just throwing that out there.
Without pizza?
Mm-hmm. Eat pizza for a year? Like,
yeah, only pizza.
Yeah, only
or
eat
never
pizza
have
a year.
Pizza for a year.
That's your only.
No pizza.
No.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you people are surprising with your answers. Okay, all right. I think I could do it. Like, I feel like with pizza, there's enough possibilities to change it up and to make different variations. Yeah. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with choosing pizza. All right, I'm gonna find one more.
Jacob messaged or commented.
We're late.
He said amen.
What do you say amen?
He said amen earlier.
Yeah.
That's something we said was good. Okay. I feel like I need to find one more good one and then we'll be good. I think I said that one before. Man. Sorry, I thought I had one. I can't find it anymore. Okay, this is a good one. Harley, I asked her this one last week, but I think you guys might have a better response to this. Would you rather have free Wi-Fi, or let me say it like this. Would you rather have good internet connection wherever you go? Because most people just use their cellular whatever, but sometimes it's not always good. Would you rather have really good internet connection all the time, or have free coffee when or wherever you
Free
go?
internet connect. Yeah. Wait, what was the internet one? The internet one was
It's not just
best.
free internet like Wi-Fi,
Good
but
Oh,
it's
the
internet.
good
Yeah, I'd
internet.
go with that. Yeah. Good internet.
I like
Yeah.
coffee.
She's an addict.
I know.
She's
See,
an
I
addict.
knew this would be a good one.
She's going through. She can't go a day without it.
I can.
She can't.
I don't know. The internet, I'd have to go with that one because it's just so much more frustrating
Wow.
to have no internet connection than to
Wow.
have to pay for a Starbucks drink. It's not as frustrating because it's like,
Interesting.
It
Starbucks
It
is
is.
expensive though.
$6 for a grande.
stop it. It's, I mean, internet, bro.
Internet. Wow, I'm surprised. You
'Cause-
said that.
And like the thing is, I think what makes it like makes me more like want to choose internet is because like our internet over here, when everybody gets on it, I get so frustrated because it like slows down.
Oh yeah.
And so like
Good
to
point.
have perfect internet, or like, oh my gosh, when we go paddleboarding, because we paddleboard a lot now,
Or you go in the middle of nowhere.
we could have
Oh,
internet
yeah.
on there now.
Yeah. You
Oh my
know the middle of
gosh, that'd
nowhere.
be so great.
Huh?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Okay, well, let me ask you it this way then. Let's add a twist to this. Would you rather have good internet all the time, but only bad coffee, or have really great coffee but really sucky internet all the time?
That's so rude.
Coffee. I want good coffee.
I want good coffee too.
I cannot have bad coffee. I would literally
Yeah.
cry.
No.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I think I would be opposite on that. I think I would prefer, because I'm okay with like drinking black. Like I wouldn't be a fan of it, but I think I could. I think I could survive
Wow.
without it.
I couldn't do it. I can't drink black.
You already drink nasty coffee though. His coffee's not.
No,
good.
I get the nitro cold brew. You know about the cold brew. See?
Oh yeah, that's good.
He
Yeah,
just
yeah.
started to get it like
That's
good.
good.
Before it wasn't good because he didn't put sweet cream in it, but now it's good.
It's really good. I like to see the little bubbles.
Have you ever tried an Americano?
Nope.
It's basically just espresso and
Ooh,
water,
lovely.
but Starbucks
Really?
isn't bad.
Can I get an Americano?
I get that all the time. It's got very little calories, and so
We should
I
try that.
drink it
Just
all the
try
time.
that. Add
I'm
it to
down.
your list of gazillions.
I try like a new drink every morning. Like it's kind of bad,
She's the
but
person who's like, yeah, can I get a
or like
splash?
I'll try to make coffee. Sometimes I'll make it,
Yeah.
but it's always something new.
Yeah.
She's the
So
type of person who's like, yeah, can I get
Yeah.
a grande's, what are they called? Latte with almond milk, 2 pumps of this, 3 pumps of that, and just a bit of this, a splash of that,
You're really calling me out right
with
now.
whipped cream.
I've learned though,
A venti.
Whipped
a
cream.
blended something that I like right now. The blended espresso, it's not espresso, espresso frappuccino with coconut milk is actually
Yeah.
really good. You got to make sure they put sweetener, but it's good.
You know, I usually don't like to put too much sweetener or sugar in my coffee, but I've been trying to like add something to it. But I'm getting a little tired of almond milk. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna try coconut.
surprisingly, it's a
I'm gonna try
little like because it's not as creamy,
Mhm.
so it's like a little more of like a watery
Mm.
consistency, which is why I get it blended. But
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Interesting. Well, friends,
Yeah.
that was fun. Hey, again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to just have a conversation with me and to be open and transparent. And you guys are really cool people, and I really enjoyed
Aw.
talking to you guys. So
We
thank
love
you. I love
you.
y'all.
You're cool too.
You're
Uh,
super cool.
Oh, thanks. I
Totes.
appreciate
Like
it. All right, guys.
The totes.
What's that?
totally.
That's his favorite word.
Totes.
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 My mom says it too.
Oh man.
Right, Mom?
Oh yeah.
No, she says totes. That's what she does.
All right, guys. I love you.
All right,
You have a
Love
good
you.
night.
Love you.
Bye.
All right, bye.